Hey, thanks for joining us for another car ride convo. Hopefully everybody out there is doing fantastic this morning, just like we are. It's a beautiful day. Just passed some deer. Joy of living in the boonies. Never a bad thing. It's always like a parade through our yard. Be it night or day, we go out with our night vision on through our woods. We have some trails back there that we enjoy. There's always some kind of cool critter out there. I think when you're in touch with the creation that's around us, and you're not in cityscapes, these huge areas that have lost feeling to nature, you have a greater respect for it. And that's tough because a lot of people don't choose that. Just I didn't choose my childhood. So there's a lot of people out there that grow up in those city landscapes that are there because of their parents, their families, whoever. And it's harder to get out until you're old enough, and some people are just set in their ways or however they do it. But anyways, I was on some video chats with some fellow veterans buddies of mine. We were discussing just a huge drop in customer service, quality, be it products or just the way that people treat you. Take for instance, a few people know that I'm dealing with my brand new Toyota. It's just been little nitpicky stuff, and everybody else is pointing outward instead of pointing inward about what's going on with it. I just want to drive my vehicle. It's not a cheap vehicle. It's not maybe as expensive as some of my other vehicles, but it's not a cheap vehicle. And it's certainly a well-known quality vehicle. So any of the issues that I've suffered so far, this guy on the wrong side of the road, have been induced by people, not by the vehicle. So, and anything that's made by fallible hands can be fallible. I completely accept that and understand that. But anyways, we were talking about just how quality is just plummeted. And it's unfortunate because we pay this money, we return to people, we choose to be engaged by them, and yet their answer is to deliver less than what they're super interested in advertising as not less than before the sale. And some just kind of take it for granted. Oh, they're going to come and buy it. So what? Who cares? Don't worry about it. It's weird. Even in the product that we had as military, our service to who we called our customers within the military community or civilians that came in and requested that we conduct operations, whatever, for them, we couldn't suffer anybody less quality. We wouldn't stand for it. Not only that, but we'd have to answer for it formally if we didn't do what was right by those people. Not to mention loss of life or problems with the operation, losses in battle. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Because if you're not training to win, if you're not training for success, which is what we do every day, while we're constantly going over the motions of what we're going to do when we're downrange, we can't work out our problems. And we have to be interested in working out any issues. And it just seems weird that our civilian counterparts, and in some ways, now we're seeing it, a lot of our military counterparts just aren't interested in that. And that's unfortunate. It seems more acceptable. And not all. I'm not dogging current military or anybody else. I'm just saying that it's that loss of desire for things to be quality. And the acceptance to it. It certainly shows in our government. Does it not? Like, we will suffer or accept so much less from these people. What's funny is everybody demanded equality based off of this supposed lack of morality in one, where another who left their wife and has suffered in numerous actions that can be criminal and has never been held to task for them, because that's always been the way, as well as his VP had similar in what the other president had, which I don't like it neither, and I don't like it in me, but immorality with outside of marriages. And that was the supposed, battle cry. He's cheated on his wife, we can't vote for him again, or we don't want him in office again. JFK cheated on his wife in the White House. What the other jabronis have done before the presidency is it the same? I don't see it as the same as cheating in the White House. But JFK was a great president. Say what you want about the last before the current, nowhere near the situation that we're in today. And the interest in to continue the degradation of our communities, our economies, and what we stand by is disgusting. It's disgusting. And the models from the top down are going to reflect who we all are as a populace. When people don't see anything but that kind of thing going on. Super unfortunate. Super unfortunate. I always try to make correct when I do less by somebody, and I promise to most people, I can't say it to all because sometimes I make mistakes, but I never intend to do them wrong. Anyone. When it occurs, super unfortunate, and I try to make right by those people. If they come back to me, bring something back to me, whatever, I've taken it back. I've taken back a laptop from somebody. They just decided that wasn't what they wanted, and they had it for a while. I don't know. I'm not better than others, but some of my actions, I like to think I try to be better than not. Is that a better way of saying it? And we've just lost a lot to that. And those who I know feel very similar in the same way. I think what we see, and my opinion is super minute, but I've traveled this world, I've known some things, I've got a few experiences, and that's what I base my opinions on. I don't base them off living in the same place my entire life, knowing a tiny handful of people. I base it on a larger scale. Not a better scale, not a more interesting scale, just on a larger scale of things that I've been able to achieve, things that people have brought to me because of who I am and their experiences with me, and continuously asking me to participate in whatever way, be it military or as a civilian, contract, whatever. And in that, I'm sorry, I do get a little emotional about this, because this is our nation, and we should accept that and want that to be the stance of quality and humanity and good things. But a lot of this is based off of our ego, and our pride. Instead of being interested in what goes out, we're all worried about what shows, and what we're taking in, what we're taking from people. It's about us instead of us. Can everybody see that? Community. Believe me, I'm not for or against specifics in politics as far as a party. I've voted both ways. if I feel that one human is going to do better in their flaws than the other, I will vote that way. And if they don't, I won't vote that way again. I certainly didn't vote for the current back in the 90s while I was in the military serving, and we knew the type of person he was then. Amplified till even as a VP, just a disgusting human being. So I didn't vote now that way. And this isn't about that. But I want to make this example because it comes into play. The Maui fires. The Maui fires, we've heard just crazy stories. Be it people I know over in the islands, shout out to Ohana, or what we see through social media, people that we may not know specifically, but we deal with regularly, and what they're seeing over there, what we're seeing from people that are on the ground there. And we're seeing some things that are very unfortunate. We were seeing a blockade of supplies going from their other island communities to come in and help. We saw blockades of use of water because of their relationship with water. Your relationship with water is give and take. And we don't save it for the wealthy to miss the everyday folks. I'm going to tell you, when there's that much need and there's so much that has devastated people, and we don't see help being allowed to come in from others, and there being blockades, boats and ships and officials keeping people from bringing in assistance from others, that's sad. We didn't see that for Florida and Texas when we went out of our way to take trailers of stuff down there, things that people had very kindly donated. We filled a trailer. We helped to fill trailers. Those islands down there were taken care of within reason. There was a lot of that missed as well. And there was problems from our government where the people were trying to help. And now we're seeing the people who are trying to help, and officials are keeping that from happening. It's gotten better, and we're hearing better things. But again, I want to make this point. If you took in numerous aircraft and filled them with supplies, shelter, food, aid, medical, water, just the basic resources that people who've lost everything could use. If you filled aircraft with those needs and took them over there, that would be very helpful for them. Instead, I don't know how many of you know this, but Air Force One is not all-inclusive of how the president travels. There's a multitude of C-17 and other aircraft that travel with him. When I say a multitude, I'm 4 or 5 minimum. Anybody that's seen that, been participant to it, be it at bases overseas, in war zones, whatever, there's been times when we've been stuck and couldn't get out because we didn't have aircraft because of the amount of people that were being moved in and out of the country, and we had to sit back and wait our turn. Yet, we see on the tarmac 4, 5, 7 aircraft coming in for one president and their entourage and their vehicles and whatnot. A whole military sitting there, but they need their entourage to this level. Not one aircraft full of, let's say, Secret Service and their vehicles with the president and then the military to guard him, but 6 or 7. Now imagine filling those same aircraft with those resources and getting them in there. Wouldn't that be a great thing? But we didn't see that. We saw a president go over to these people who are in need and suffering, get spoken to by the leader of this nation, to which those islands are included in a huge part of who we are. And he talks about a little kitchen fire as relative to their issue. Pride and ego. Double amputee Marine that he went and saw. A victim of the bombing during the withdrawal of Afghanistan. Blown to kingdom come. Lost friends. Lost a good portion of his life. It certainly has shortened his life. Make no mistake about that. But his quality of life is completely different. That same POTUS went in there and talked about his own family serving, to this Marine laying half out of it because he denied his medications because he chose to see the president in his clearest mind, and he had to wait hours. They kept telling him he was coming, and he kept putting off his pain medication to assure that he had a clear mind. To receive the President of the United States mattered to him that much. And that man's pride had him talk about his own kids. Not that Marine. Sorry. I apologize for my loss of bearing. That's quality. We care. We send out millions of dollars to strangers from our own pockets. Every day. Every day we help those in need from our own pockets. I'm not talking about the government misusing our resources. I'm talking about from families and homes. That's not pride. It's not ego. It's because we don't want to see people in those situations. And then our government misuses things for their own justification. And that's terrible. For their wealth. For the wealth of their families. Wealthy politicians. Super sad, man. Super sad. Pride and ego. Not trying to bring everybody down. I want everybody to have a wonderful day. I'm just making it relative to how we suffer some of the lack of quality and care that's coming from people that should be the greatest examples and models of it. And I know I am a flawed person, and I openly admit it. I have a lot to make better from things I've done. And I try. Doesn't mean I always succeed, but I try. And very grateful for the people that support me in doing that. And those who allow me to do greater things with them as well. To make a larger effort conducive to reaching more people. But can't we, from the top, not take the lesser of two evils, but to insist the greatest of choices and saying absolutely no to anyone who doesn't meet that model? We had way better choices, both sides. We get caught up in these plantation battles where we insist on being slaves to these things. These people that don't give two craps about us. And that needs to change. I hope that change can come from everybody out there. Because until we demand and stand up to these people that want to show others the model of who we are when that's not who we are, and allow us to just completely reduce ourselves to meet their model, we won't get any better. And we need much better. Today we need much better. I thank each and every one of you who listens to me, who comes and joins me, who sits down with me, shares their time, is willing to travel from states while we travel to different states, just to embrace one another, to love one another, to enjoy each other's company, to share, and to learn. I'm so grateful to all of you. To come here and listen to me babble and to break down like a person who lacks in, their own manhood, but truly just cares in his own humanity. The things that we fought for. When we enlisted, or we signed up, we became officers, whatever the case may be, to serve in our military, we certainly made an oath. And that was to do right by our nation, including by those who lead us. And unfortunately, we had to do some things that we did not agree with, that our leaders insisted. But our service was about serving the nation, be it abroad or otherwise, as models and representation of good people. Yes, people die in war. Yes, we fought those wars. But as well, we helped people while we were fighting those wars. And that's the larger picture. I hope everybody sees that more so than calling us war pigs and baby killers and silly things that people should never say about the good men and women who serve this nation for better things as better representatives. So again, thank you for your time. Hope you all have a great day. Love one another, be better to one another. God bless each and every one of you. I apologize for everything that was out of whack, but it was meant for something greater. I hope it reaches each and every one of you. Take care.